Jumbo, fellow adventurers, it's Mike Dooley. Welcome to another spiritual tune-up on a Friday. And this one is going to be one of my favorites, I do believe. Is there a devil? By the way, I get my talking points from the questions you post below on Facebook or Instagram. Post on the day of a broadcast, and that'll increase exponentially my chances of reading it prior to the next broadcast, which is every weekday. I answer your questions. Thanks for the interaction, the weather reports, where you're from, what you're thinking. I love it all. The interaction and the sharing, especially with friends, gets the algorithms all souped up. All right, so yesterday we were talking about ghosts, and I thought it would be a logical extension to go a little deeper into the devil and hell than I have ever gone before. And it's much needed because we still live in a very primitive time, spiritually speaking, where there's these vestiges, these held over beliefs from religion, man made contraptions designed to scare the masses that are debilitating and terrifying. I often wonder, for those who don't really know the truth yet about who we are, how we got here, and what we can do with our lives in time and space, what a terrifying, utterly terrifying journey this is on planet Earth. I mean, it would seem that bad things could happen to good people for no reason, which is total, utter nonsense. Check out the other spiritual tune-ups where I talk about exactly those points. But today, the devil and hell. Let me create a platform from which to speak about these concepts. First and foremost, I trust you realize that matter is illusion. It is like a holographic universe that we live in. Scientists tell us this. Einstein and the others said that if you get close enough to rock solid matter with ultra powerful microscopes, you can actually go right through it. There's nothing solid about it. It's exactly the same as a nighttime dream. Okay, to the dreamer, oh my God, sweaty brow, racing heart, and God knows what other bodily functions taking place because you believe that it's real, but it's just a dream. It's just smoke and mirrors. The dream creates a stage for there to be lessons and adventures and love and fear and wow. It's like entertainment and education all wrapped up in one, a nighttime dream. And the dream of here and now, life, is exactly the same. We are spiritual beings that created these illusions. We are of God, by God, pure God. Our thoughts become things, and just as your thoughts create your nighttime dreams, complete with gravity and science and photosynthesis in your nighttime dreams. Have you ever seen a tree or a bush? Good on you with the photosynthesis. You're doing it here on life. Why? For the adventure of it. The issue and the challenge that has vexed humanity for as long as we've been playing these games of hide and seek is that we fall hook, line, and sinker believing that these illusions are reality and that we have to react to them, that we came as an afterthought, forgetting and not remembering, not realizing that we were the first thought. We are the creators of this bastion of order floating through the cosmos. But yet, as I've shared, as Adam and Eve, the metaphorical story, point out, these spiritual beings who created the Garden of Eden crossed a tipping point in their hypnotic trance by biting into the thought form of an apple because it was red, because it smelled good, because it must be delicious. That was a story of us falling head over heels, thinking the illusions are more real than what gave them rise, ourself. Now, this is going somewhere. This is a story about the devil you've never heard before, okay? So, the Eastern religions, let's just say the Eastern religions from Asia, Japan, all my brothers and sisters out there, they got so much right. And they all talk about, all the way over to India, they all talk about the illusions as Maya, M-A-Y-A. It is the hypnotic spell and the ultimate journey of humanity, according to many, is the transcendence of the Maya so that we can be fully self-realized, enlightened, and understand that we are projecting the physical world around us, and that the physical world around us responds to us 24/7. You don't like it? Change the picture in your mind. Thoughts become things. Take action, baby steps, all else that I and many others teach. So it is Maya. Get this. One of my all-time favorite books, I only found it about 13 months ago, Autobiography of a Yogi. There's so much profound in this. I could not more highly recommend this book, Autobiography of a Yogi. And the yogis and the gurus and those in India and the Eastern world, they're huge students of the Bible because the Bible contains so much truth. Granted, it was hijacked by men with an agenda. Okay, so there's some twisted understandings pertaining to a lot of scripture, and there's a lot of scripture that was adulterated and manipulated and transcribed dishonestly by men in power. So there's a lot of issues with the Bible. I am not religious. I am not even a Christian according to most definitions of Christianity. Of course, I believe in Jesus and Buddha and all the other prophets and folks. But I want to read to you the gurus that would study the Bible. It wasn't because the Bible was the root source. The Bible confirmed their own ideas. That's what truth is. It's going to show up in a lot of holy tomes. Okay? And they had some really good takes on the Bible. But let me share with you what the gurus said in a brief reading here from Autobiography of a Yogi. To surmount Maya was the task assigned to the human race by the millennial prophets, to rise above the duality of creation and perceive the unity of the Creator as conceived of as man's highest ideal. Those who cling to the cosmic illusion must accept its essential law of polarity, flow and ebb, rise and fall, day and night, pleasure and pain, good and evil, birth and death, contrast, which is totally misunderstood. It is theoretical. You don't have to go down to go up, but that's another spiritual tune-up from months and months ago. But you have to contend with this contrast, not that you have to go down for every up, if you're steeped in the illusions, hypnotized into reacting to the physical world around you. Then check this biblical interpretation out. This is all about the devil today. You wouldn't know it so far, would you? Prepare to be astounded. All right. The Old Testament prophets called Maya by the name of Satan. Uses Diablos or devil as well. Satan or Maya is the cosmic magician who produces multiplicity of forms to hide the one formless verity. Christ, now they're quoting John 8:44, describes Maya picturesquely, and if I must say so myself, quite poetically and romantically even, not in a mushy sense of romance. Christ describes the devil as a murderer and a liar. Quote, the devil was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar, the devil, and the father of it. The devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, Jesus. This is John still, John 3:8 right now. The world, blah, blah, blah. So the whole thing of devil and Satan, biblically, as defined by the gurus in the East, was this grip that the illusions have in hypnotizing us into judging and committing sin, which is not seeing the truth. It is not some demerit system to hell. There's no such thing as hell. The devil in these interpretations is not some entity with a pitchfork. That's so juvenile, and I'm going to nix that in just a second. But the idea of Satan is to speak of our own hypnotic trance, thinking that the illusions are reality and therefore giving away all of our power, tumbling head over heels out of heaven on earth to contend with a physical world we think is greater than ourselves. That's the devil. There is no red devil. There is no boogeyman. There is no boogie woman. There is no such ridiculous juvenile idea of some angel cast from heaven. Because what? Because God couldn't fix it? I've got another reading for you. I'm getting carried away, but this is so much fun. I'm going to read from another one of my favorite books, The Top 10 Things Dead People Want to Tell You, written by me. Oh, prepare. Now, here's where I want you to, and I urge in this book, common sense, please. Common sense. If you're trying to understand the nature of reality, you have the truth inside of you. You don't need me. You don't need yogis. You don't need Jesus. They were trying to tell you, wake up, it's inside. Smell the roses, drink some good coffee. I ask, do these old school ideas make sense? And here's one passage, a paragraph from my book that I want to read with you. Does it make sense that ugly would be the price of beauty, that violence be the price of peace, that hate is the price of love? Does that make sense? Does it? Or maybe, as religions have taught, here's your alternative right now. Don't go here. Evil exists unto itself as some primordial earthbound nebula or ugly energy mixture with a will and intelligence of its own, lurking in paradise like a cockroach in God's kitchen. Does that make sense? Fueled and sustained by, well, no one ever thought to ask, insufficiently capable. This is what religions want you to believe, that the devil and evil is insufficiently capable of taking over all good things, however depraved, yet invincible enough to stand its ground and hold its own before God. Again, wouldn't God be able to slay any such creature as a devil? Of course. There is no such creature as the devil. There's no such thing as a devil. And evil does not exist on its own. Instagram, I see I lost you. I hope you're there, Instagram. Okay. Evil does not exist as a force of its own. The devil made me do it. These negative thoughts inhabited my body. I'm possessed. Oh, bull crap. There's no such thing as evil on its own. God would wipe it out. Evil is the product of confusion in your head. When you're reacting to the world around you and you think you need to steal somebody's loaf of bread to sustain yourself, forgetting that the whole thing is a mirage. Now, there's an upside to all of this, okay? I'm just trying to dispel this. And there's one more thing I wanted to read from my book here. Going back to common sense to dispel the notions of the devil and hell. As if God, the brilliance that started it all, that knew how to hang each star in the night sky and organize energy into matter, wasn't also wise enough to rehabilitate everyone so in need, big enough to forgive unasked, loving enough to refrain from tests, judgments, and sentences, courageous enough to accept full responsibility for all creation. It's like, oh, not me. You made that big mistake, that big mess on earth. God would take responsibility. And I say, God, forgive me. To you, I say, forgive me for using the word God because it's so loaded with garbage and baggage. Call it divine intelligence. Call it source energy. Call it the universe. Okay? But I'm using God because it gets your attention, and it does imply that there is an intelligence and that life is not random, wookie, bonky, whatever. Well, I think I've read enough of that. So think for yourself. Realize that you're not vulnerable. God's not pissed off. God is you come alive, growing where God could never have gone without you. And you're endowed with the power to change that which you don't like. And you don't have to worry about what you did last year or in your teenage years or in the 12th century. You don't have to worry about that. No one's judging you. There's no devil. There's no nothing. You're untouchable. You're the divine. Your thoughts become things. You're pushed on to greatness every single day. This is a great big adventure where there are unending second chances. Brand new romances lurking around every corner. Dreams that you have are meant to come to pass. You can do it. Think those thoughts, speak those words, take those baby steps, prepare to be astounded because you're living your life inside the heart and mind of God where all things are possible and you are a divine being yourself. All right, I hope you're ready for the weekend after that 16 minutes, and I hope if Instagram, the video went bad, we'll put up the Facebook video there. Thank you everybody for letting me do what thrills me. Continue to ask your questions below. You can get this book at Amazon or this book as well at Amazon. And I give a mini manifesting workshop every Tuesday morning outside of these tune-ups. Members only, $15 a month. You get 4 or 5, however many Tuesdays there are in a month. You get worksheets, PDFs, community, weekend notes, so much more. If you sign up and don't like it, I don't live up to my promise, within 7 days you get a full refund, your whole $15 back. Okay? Tally-ho, amigos. Bevan, glad you're here. Suzanne, Kevin, Winnie in the house, Wendy, Kat, Mary Ellen on Instagram. Showtime share. All right, that's cool. Linda, the new Lacey. Oh, I like the old Lacey, and I'm happy that you're new too. Heidi, Righty. All right, Vivian, thank you all. Tally-ho. See you Monday. Have the best weekend ever.